What's happening, everyone? It's Kyle from Magpie 24/7. I hope you're all good. Now, match review time. Newcastle 2, Tottenham 3, and it's a mixture of emotions from yesterday. It was a one of the weirdest, strangest days as a Newcastle fan I think I've ever seen, and been a part of. But it just it just had every emotion involved. Um, the lead up to the game was absolutely unbelievable. The city was bouncing, fans outside Shearer's bar before the game, and the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic pre-game. Um, just to be a part of that and to see that was was unreal, because it was like we've waited a long time for this day. The first game back without Mike Ashley in charge, and it was just pure bliss. Just to see fans happy. I seen people that I haven't seen in years, like yesterday, and having a good crack on with them and stuff. Like it's it's nice. It's nice to see people happy again. Something to be positive about. Where the football club's concerned, leading up to the game, and then you get in the ground and it's just special. Like war flags display, like it's as close to tears as I've came to since Jonas Gutierrez came onto the field after he beat cancer and stuff against Man United, and the ovation he got a couple of years back. In fact, I'm wearing the home top that like wearing the home top from that season. Um, but it was just special, and like from where I sit at the bottom of the Gallagher in the corner. So like just to see that and see the whole wall, and like the noise, man, the noise was absolutely amazing. Like it was extraordinary. I've never heard anything like it. The whole stadium were up in arms, and chanting the team on, and it was just beautiful. Like it really was. It was beautiful. And like I usually come on here, and I'm the past couple of years I've always had like negative. I will get to that in this video, don't worry. But the just everything about it was absolutely unbelievable. And then the ovation for Al Ryman, one new chairman, was unbelievable. And I've seen the pictures of him smiling and stuff, which is great. You know, good. And then the celebrations from the first goal as well. Like it started so well, but once we got that out of the way, the fan, like I said in my preview, if the fans were as good as I thought they would be, they were better. By the way, we could get on top of Tottenham, we could crush Tottenham. In the first couple of minutes, I got them vibes straight away, because we're on top of them. We made them move the ball and got them under pressure, and we got the ball on the right hand side, and the ball goes into the box. Great cross by Manquillo, and then Callum Wilson's movement and just gets in front of the defender, and banging header 1-0 after 2-3 minutes. Oh, unbelievable. And sadly, it's all downhill from there, because after that we were absolutely fucking dreadful, man. It just, like, I know it's a new regime and stuff, but it stunk of the Mike Ashley era. Like afterwards, the performance, because it was a case of we can lose but not by many. It stunk of Mike Ashley. It stunk of Steve Bruce. Just just stunk out the joint. And for a match we've waited as fans for 14 years for, Steve Bruce managed to turn that crowd against him. And he's all for dignity and not making it about him, but funny enough, he made it all about him. And now he's saying in the press and stuff, oh, he hopes the owners will give him a new chance. The owner should do the right thing. I don't care if it comes across as a rush decision to get rid of him. I know these want to coordinately plan things, but anybody is better than Steve Bruce. Anyone is better. That man is so hated universally from the crowd. He's managed to turn that against him. We went 1-0 up. We had the crowd behind him, and we went defensive. And the same problem. It doesn't matter what formation it is. Every time a team goes out wide against, he doesn't know how to deal with it. And even then, there was a clip that's been circulating around social media. He's talking to Steve Agnew and he's like, "How do I stop it? I haven't got a fucking clue." That's what he said, and it's like we've had that all season. Every team that's put more than 1 or 2 goals past with this season, the only team that hasn't is Watford. Even then, those teams have used the wings against we, and they've hammered we badly. West Ham beat we, Southampton cut we open. Every team has used the wingers against it, and we're still not adapting to it. We're still not adjusting to it because Steve Bruce hasn't got a fucking clue. And it's like, it's infuriating at this point because, like, after everything yesterday, like, I do want to touch on it. Like, a couple of minutes before half time, a fan passed out, and I'm not sure what happened exactly, but he passed out, and the whole crowd went mad for the referee to stop the match, and rightly so. The conduct of Sergio Regulon, in particular from the Tottenham side, to get this game stopped was admirable and was unbelievable, and it's just a massive thank you to him in particular because he really pushed to get the game stopped. And Jamal Lascelles went over the barrier and seen if the fan was okay, and there was genuine concern for players on with the players on the field. And I thought Andre Mariner conducted himself well, but I think we need to get more defibrillators about because it took like 5 minutes to get ahead of a defibrillator. It's very important that will get that this in the future is rectified, and we've got defibrillators around the stadium, so that isn't as much of a wait as it was, because it was a painful and a couple of minutes with a lot of tension and fear. Like, a crowd that was bouncing went silent, and obviously when someone's life's at stake, the game of football almost becomes it's just not the main topic of conversation at that point. But thankfully, uh, the doctor seen to him and got him sorted, and he got a hero's ovation in the Gallagher end as he left the stadium. But thankfully, the fan is okay and he's stable in hospital. So thank you to the doctor and to the fan. I hope you're all right, mate. But yeah, the game kicks back off. Obviously, we'll go 3-1 down at half time, and it's like the fans are still behind the team. They still want to go for it, but in the second half, we're reaction to everything. I don't know what Bruce said to them at half time, but it didn't work. And then the tactical changes. He takes Callum Wilson off. He puts Joe Linton up front, who's not a striker. He takes all the strikers off, puts Jonjo Shelvey on. Jonjo gets sent off. Now, a lot of fans are quick to blame Jonjo on this one, and I'm one of his biggest critics, but for me, right, we had a corner. Tottenham countered from this corner, and it was, I think it was 4-2. The the formation, or like the method of us taking a corner, nobody was back. There was two players back, and Jonjo Shelvey and Manquillo were the two. And I think it's been 4-2, and Shelvey's took one for the team, as most midfielders would do if they're behind the run of play. They would take a foul, and he's took one for the team. And I don't blame Jonjo for that much at all, to be fair, because I would have done the same in that situation. I would have took one for the team. But the the way we set up is actually embarrassing. Like, Steve Bruce has not got a clue how to run this team at all, and he's saying he does it. He thinks the owners are going to give him time, and look at the facts. It's 7 wins in 38 games. We haven't won this season. We've conceded 19 goals in 8 games. 19 goals, man. 19 goals. And, like, we've changed formation twice. We've got the same fundamental problems. We're still a mess at the back. He doesn't know how to mobilise a team. It's we're in dire straits, and he's got to go. Even if it's a rush appointment and you bring someone in on an interim basis till the end of the season, please do that, because Bruce cannot stay at this team. Like, I hope the owners have seen enough yesterday to be like, yeah, the fans have a point, get rid of him, because he's managed to turn an atmosphere that's waited 14 years for that moment, and he turned it against him. Didn't want to make it about him, and he wants to leave with integrity and dignity, does he? If he had any dignity and he had any integrity, he would have left months ago after we got stuffed 3-0 at Brighton. If he had any integrity or any respect for himself or the fan base or the club he supports, he would have left after Brentford in the Cup. Any integrity you left after Sheffield United last season when we got beat 1-0. Like, this man doesn't have any integrity. He doesn't have any respect as a football manager. Yeah, you've made 1,000 games, but that 1,000th game was literally the epitome of what you've been as a manager. An utter fuck up and an utter failure as a manager. You've done nothing in the sport. You're well connected with the likes of Ferguson and people like that to keep getting your jobs. But the fact of the matter is, mate, you are absolutely clueless as a manager. Might be a nice bloke, might be good to have a pint with, but as a football manager, you are the worst Premier League manager of all time. After 300 games, you've got 28% win record. In 1,000 games, you've won 283. Fuck me, that's fucking terrible. You've got relegated twice. You're going to relegate us a third time you're going to get relegated for a third time if you stick with us and don't get sacked. The amount of teams that you've took backwards in your career, you've never took one team forwards in your career, and you've got loads of people online saying respect Steve Bruce. What for making 1,000 games? It's the equivalent of giving, it's the equivalent of a participation award. Like, get out, man. It's a joke. Like, after yesterday, I don't want to be negative about anything, but Steve Bruce and that performance, it's just rinse and repeat. Wolves, Villa, every game this season has been the same. Rinse and repeat. Steve Bruce, awful, tactically wrong, changes are all wrong. I mean, he put Ryan Fraser into centre midfield. He put Joe Linton up front and took Wilson off we didn't have a striker for the last 20 minutes. Like, it's infuriating. Like, it's absolutely infuriating. It's awful. We're shocking in the middle. We looked absolutely paggered after 60 minutes. We looked absolutely paggered. He's had more days off since the consortium took over than he's had days in training. It's absolutely mental, man. Like, this manager has got to go. He's got to go. And then the next manager who comes in has got a colossal task on his hand to keep us up. Because we've got talent, yes, but that team is criminally unfit. The team is so uncohesive at the minute. You'd think they'd never played together, but some of them have played together for 6 years. Like, it's a shambles under Steve Bruce. Absolute shambles. We've got a new consortium now. The main problem, mate, Ashley's gone, but the one last figurehead under the Ashley regime still remains, Steve Bruce, and the consortium have got to get rid of Steve Bruce because he's not going to turn it round. He doesn't. From look at his past jobs, he's never turned it round from this point. Never ever turned it round. When he's seven wins in 38, he's not turning it round. He's going to try and show the owners what he can do. 28% win record over your career. Sacked 7 times. Sorry, like, you're not turning it around. You're just not. So while there's still time, we're in the bottom 3. We're nearly cut adrift. We need to make changes. We need to make changes now. So while we're still riding the wave of positivity, you ride the wave of a new manager, try and get a couple of wins on the board and try and stay in the league so we can build next season. That's the only thing really that we can do now, because the start of the season is practically ruptured. You mean, you look at teams that haven't won the first 8 games, most of them go down. So Steve Bruce has got to go, and he's got to go now. We've got a podcast coming out tomorrow night. Paul's got a couple of things going on down home, so we're delaying the podcast by a day. And then it'll be out tomorrow night. So if you just want to stay tuned for that, for Paul's reaction, and we're picking apart the game a little bit more, and talking about the day as well. But it was a lovely day all round, and the biggest winner was the fan is okay and things like that. But on a footballing perspective, Steve Bruce has got to be sacked. Like, I'm hoping I'm doing a video later today saying he's been sacked. I really hope I am. But if I'm not, then Palace is going to be a fucking terrible game as well. But lovies and leaves for now. Catch us on the podcast. Leave a comment. How do you think of the game went today, and how was the atmosphere all round? And I'll catch us in a bit, everyone. See you later.